Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting, the shooting podcast where I talk to whoever I want to because it's a free country or a free internet, whatever you choose. But without further ado, let's talk about the title sponsor of the podcast, the best, the fabulous, the Go Fastiest and Don't Suckiest, Go Fast Don't Suck. Go check out Bill over at gofastdon'tsuck.net. Go buy some match jerseys, go buy some banners, some t-shirts, some memes, and maybe some dry fire targets because we all need a dry fire. Winter's coming up, and that's what we do, right? So anyway, gofastdon'tsuck.net. Tell him Manny sent you. Move on with your day. Without further ado, let's get to today's awesome episode with Mr. Josh. Josh, I don't want to botch your last name, so go ahead and say it now for me.
Espinosa.
Josh Espinosa, everybody. I'll make myself look like an idiot, but it's all good. We're all sitting down with Josh today. We're gonna have a good time. Thanks for accepting the invite. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. If anyone doesn't know, Josh is a dude. He's kind of local-ish to me. I mean, you're
An hour.
An hour? Yeah, kind of.
Hour and a half.
It's only an hour and a half from Fort Wayne to Brooklyn.
Yeah, roughly.
That's not bad. That's about the distance from Fort Wayne to my house.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, because everyone wants to know. Oh, this is being recorded early October for anyone who really cares when these are actually being recorded. So anyway, moving on. But yeah, no, I live in Marshall, about an hour and a half north of Fort Wayne. So
Gotcha.
but that's kind of interesting that it's the same distance from there to there than it is to my house to there. But anyway, so Josh, for people who don't know you and who live under a rock, who is Josh Espinosa and how did you get into shooting?
Yeah, so like he said, my name is Josh Espinosa. I got into shooting really mainly out of boredom. If that's even a reason. So back in the peak of COVID is when I bought my first gun. We had just became American citizens at that time, maybe a couple of years at that time. So for me, guns was not necessarily in the bloodline of the family. It was one of those things where I kind of had to explore it on my own, just growing up from a different country and everything. Coming here, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, guns are cool, and Americans can have guns for free, or not necessarily for free, but as long as you pay the money, you can have it. And really, it was the peak of COVID. I had gotten fired off of my job for that reason, and I had money at the time, so I had bought my first gun, went to my local gun store. I saw an M17 because I was like, oh, it's tan. That's cool. From COD. That's awesome. And I had money at that time and I bought it. Thought I was a badass, bought a janky leather Kydex holster, put it in my joggers because I only wore joggers at that time because I thought jeans were gay. And really, it was one of those epiphanies. I walked into a grocery store and it was one of those things where I just kind of like, oh crap, if I actually need to use this thing, I actually don't know what I'm doing. Um, like what a proper grip is, what a proper sight is, and trigger press, and et cetera at the time. And not having a job, that sparked a lot of training and just searching up YouTube. I found the likes of Lucas from TRX Arms was the main guy that kind of inspired me to start practicing, as it were. You got your tier 1 concealed dudes, your Modern Samurai project. So that got me started into just training. That inspired me a lot. And yeah, man, it was one of those things where I kind of just kept doing it. And a local buddy here was like, hey, you should shoot USPSA. And I'm like, what'd that be? Like, don't know, no clue. So he kind of tried for 2 months and I finally gave in. I was like, sure, I'll go. Like, it's a competition and I'm a hyperly competitive guy of just from past history of sports, video games, etc. I showed up with no expectations. Like he just kept telling me on the car ride, like, be safe. Don't break the 180. Didn't know what that meant until it was explained to me at the match. Don't touch your gun until it's your turn, etc. And really, after that night, I was like, wow, like I have so much to learn. I'm trash. But that just sparked everything.
Yeah, that first match definitely can spark the wanting to be better, right? So
yeah.
And that's kind of cool. So you kind of got into you jumped right into the SIG fanboy life.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Now, was that M17 did it have a thumb did it have the thumb safety or was it no safety?
No safety. I thought it looked really odd on the gun, so I was like, I want one without whatever that thing is.
Right?
So
Well, at least you know the thingy, right? No one wants the thingy, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, no, this is my safety. See, it's my finger. Anyway, I mean, FUD mantra, right? But anyway,
yeah,
so that's cool. You picked SIG, um, and it's really cool that you kind of started with that media pushing you. The T-Rex Arms guys. The guys. Shooting on the internet. That was kind of cool. And it's always cool to watch shooting videos on like the gram, right?
for sure.
Even though
For sure.
it takes like 100 million takes to get one good like stand and shoot run, it seems like, right?
Exactly. If only I had the ammo too.
Yeah, no, right? It's like this is my first cold rounds out of the gun today. Yeah, right, buddy.
Going through 99 videos on the phone, like, oh, there's that one.
Yep, there's the one we're gonna post it after you've said it like a million times. You kind of believe, but anyway, that's pretty cool. So, where did you come in for your first classification?
Initially a B,
Okay,
like low B. I don't even know what it was, and a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, that sucks. That's the hardest classification to get out of." And I'm like, "Don't know what that means, but I'm B class, I guess."
right. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think C classes get harder. Well, yes, the depth of percentage is deep in B. Like, there's so much that can go right and can go wrong in B. But there's
Hmm.
some people who are just stuck in C. It's like they just like they try hard, they practice, they go to matches and shoot, and they're just like, "What the fuck? I can't get out of
Yeah,
C." But I
I
mean,
I really think that was the biggest turn in my shift in my gears was trying to get out of B because everyone like every of my friends were like A or N's, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be B. Like that's viewed as uh you know you suck, or basically, I mean, I still suck, but um because I tried too hard instead of just trusting my training and my practice. And ever since that shift in mindset, just started shooting more consistently. Like the last three classifiers I shot were all M classes. I shot uh trigger freeze at 91%. Um I don't know what the classifier is called, but it was it's like tux, like a really hard cover, and then like an open target very far. Then it's the same on the opposite side, and it's like draw and shoot.
oh yeah, I know what that is. It's like not down the middle. Maybe it's down the middle. Wait, do I have it in my? Is it in my stack of papers for like the next night? Oh, not in this stack of papers, obviously. But
It's
yeah,
like
I know.
one is a headshot only, the one is a tux.
Yeah, you do a reload in between the two
Yep,
arrays. Yeah. You know what they could really do is save targets and just have that set up as one array and only use three targets.
exactly.
But that's not
Uh,
fair to lefties or righties. You got to be equal here, right?
yeah, I guess so. But I shot that at 87%, and then the last classifier I shot was at 90%, which was um in the middle port, open paper, no shoot, open paper. On the left side is open paper popper, then same on the other side. And
Oh
um,
yeah, that's Cracker Jack. If I'm not mistaken, that's Cracker Jack, right?
yeah,
Because you got
yeah,
this weird like it's like L-shaped walls.
yeah.
And your hands are here. Yeah, that's Cracker Jack. I like that one.
So I shot that 90%. So ever since then, it's like, oh, like all you really got to do is trust your training, and all falls into place if you just don't try too hard.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like getting out of your own head for the most part, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I can say that all I want, but I'm still a B going into A. I mean, which is nice because I just reclassified another division and I'm right where I was with
yeah,
in the other division. So, other than the fact that it's a little lower because I had one throwaway stage, that's the sucky part about a classifier match, right? You got to keep them all
yeah. You
because
have to keep them
especially
all.
that first one is always a keep them all. And I thought I was going to do really good on this one. I picked this classifier for a reason: highway robbery, right? So it's partial turtle, partial
Uh-huh.
turtle target. Then there's the four poppers and two open turtles on the back,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you go super slow on the draw, you miss a couple steel, and you're like, "What the fuck? Like, come on!"
Oh man.
I,
It's always easier said than done though. It's the biggest issue.
yeah, I don't know on that one. I definitely like. Some people are like, "Well, don't you shoot the steel on the move?" I'm like, "Why? You have like four steps. Just be
Yeah,
aiming at that paper on the right or left hand side, shoot that coming in, and then move."
exactly.
I just don't think the coming up and shooting it is worth the squeeze. That's my opinion.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm with you.
The disaster factor is too high. I like trigger freeze. I will say I like that classifier, even though it's ridiculously high on the hit factors.
I shot that like low C class beginning of the season, and ever since then I'm like, this classifier is so easy, like I can do this. So I shot it again last month, Surprisingly came out with 4 Charlies, all alphas, at 7.5. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I'll take it.
Yeah. All good classifiers though. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the ones that are movement based. But there's nothing wrong with a good old stand and shoot.
Yeah.
Long as you
Just not can you count? Because I can't.
'cause my problem with can you count is it's like you're touching the paper with your gun. So
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh look, it was all alphas. It was really fast. I'm like, you're 2 feet from the target. Like anyone's gonna have a good like if you can at least rip enough splits and hold on to the gun and make sure you don't get procedurals. Typically that classifier goes okay.
Yeah. As long as you don't get a trigger freeze.
Yes. Exactly. So we talked about it. You started with the M17. Did you start in carry optics or did you go like to production or limited like a weirdo?
So my first match was actually an open. At that time when I was finally convinced to go shoot a match, I had an X5 Legion with an SRO with a Bobro plate. My buddy Chris Fortney ported my barrel and I had a magwell. I was carrying from appendix, and they're like, so when my first match was 2 weeks before the rule change, where now you can carry optics in appendix, and they were like, well, you have a light, you have a dot, even if you take the magwell off, you're automatically open at that rule sets at that time. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just put my ported barrel and call it a day. So then after that, I put it back to carry at a carry optic setup and bought like gear.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy from the time we started, gear has changed immensely since we figured out kind of like that pre-show. We kind of started around the same time.
Yeah.
So if you're not cool, it used to be cool to have a GoPro on your hat. Now you're not
Correct.
cool unless you
It's
have
a
an Insta
360.
360. Yeah. You got to have an Insta 360 Go too.
Yeah.
I mean, but
GoPro
those
looks
are
too big.
well, yeah. You know how, and it's flopping around on your hat and
Yeah.
if anyone wants this hat, you can go to sacredspeedworks.com and go get yourself one. It's pretty nice. It came pre-bent. Like I was like legitimately, you know how like people you gotta fit a hat in, right? You
Yeah.
gotta work the brim. I mean, unless you're a flat bill. Are you a flat bill guy?
I'm more of a curve.
Okay, all right. Nothing wrong with you flat bill folks, but just they always dig into the side of my head or something. I don't know.
I think it looks cooler, but that just be.
I mean, if I'm throwing it backwards, I mean, definitely, yes, it looks cooler, but not in the front. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so you're shooting but you're not shooting the same gun you were shooting then, right? You switched up now.
A variant of it.
Yeah.
It's still a 320, but
Yeah. Well, question, is it the same FCU?
yes.
Okay. So it's the same gun. It's just different skin.
Okay, yes.
Just like Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Like Call of Duty.
It's funny. It just has the trigger kit, Gray Gun's trigger kit in it, but outside of that, it's the same serial number.
Yeah. And then it's what? Still a tungsten grip, right?
Yeah, I got the tungsten infused in there. Yeah.
And then you've got the Gray Gun slide on it.
Yeah, I got the modern classic top end.
Now, what's
4.7.
the difference between a modern classic to a Lockwood to like the other offerings?
Well, I never got to shot a Lockwood, but I got to play with it at Matt's.
Yeah.
And they definitely look cool. Like if that's your game. I don't know the balance difference, but they look cool. But I'm more of a simplicity like kind of guy. I find beauty in simple things. So the modern classic. And really what made the decision factor for me was my wallet.
Yeah.
The modern classic was just that much more inexpensive than the Lockwood. So
right. And yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with we all got to stick in our budget, right? That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, one Lockwood was almost 2 of the classics, so it was a no-brainer for me.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's for sure. Oh, so it pretty much just is a Gray Gun slide with. Now, did yours have the? You have the 4.7, right?
Yeah, I used to run the X5s. I actually bought the P320 Max prior to me switching to the Gray Guns. And playing with it slow motion, I think my transition drag a little bit with a little extra length, but obviously that's very subjective to the shooter. Like some people may not feel that way, obviously. But that's just what I found, and I made a hitch decision. Ran the M17 again. Took that that was my carry gun, and made that my competition gun temporarily, and then got that Gray Gun slide and pretty much
yeah, and that is a pretty cool setup. I mean, I do like your gun is pretty baller. So
Thanks,
I mean,
man,
I do like the two-tony look. I mean, like for me, like a two-tone look. Maybe my second open gun will be two-tone. I don't know.
Did you
But
get all black?
no, I'm doing. It's like it's gonna kind of look stainless slash gunmetal kind of color with some blue, like some different grays and stuff on it. So it's kind of be
Gotcha.
two-tone, but three-tone with some blue
Ah,
accents on everything. So because you couldn't find green, that's the fucking only problem. Couldn't get like a magwell and a trigger in green.
yeah,
So I was like, well, we'll figure something out. Blue works for me. So, but I like blue and green, so don't sue me
yeah.
on that one.
I,
Nothing wrong
I
with
don't
that.
mind. My old slide, because I got 2 of those slides.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a prototype, but it definitely doesn't look the same as the one I recently got from Gray Guns.
Mhm.
It doesn't have the lightning cuts on the optic cut, and it doesn't have the emblem. It has same serrations, but so I don't think it was a prototype, but it was definitely their older production, as it were. I just sent that back to them to get DLC slide on barrel and slide and barrel.
Oh, nice. That'll be sweet.
Because then I have an all white one top end, a all black top end. I call them ebony and ivory because I was a DMC fan at one point.
Yeah.
So,
That's pretty baller. I mean, we all and you gotta have a backup gun. I
yeah,
don't know if anyone who takes it seriously enough who doesn't have a backup gun or doesn't have a buddy who can borrow that you can borrow their gun.
I think it's a pretty big deal, in my opinion, if you take it seriously enough.
Yeah. Like I said, if you're gonna go to a major that's like what, more than 2 hours away,
Yeah,
you at least gotta like now if I go shoot a major in my backyard, I'm like, do I risk it? Yep. Only taking one.
yeah. I mean, I just think it's the game, the USPSA game in itself takes a lot mentally,
Mhm.
and say your gun, gets malfunction or is out of commission on one stage, like you don't want to have to sit in a safety table and trying to figure out what's wrong. Like stick it in a bag, get the other one, and
Yeah.
finish the match. That's just me if you care enough.
Yeah. I
But
did that at the first local of the season. My gun didn't work. I was like, oh shit. But
or at least
I was working out the issues of a Timney
gotcha.
and you had to work it out.
Before I had my other gray guns, my backup gun was my carry gun. It's the M17, same lower, different upper with an SRO essentially.
Hmm.
So it shot different, but at least I had a similar-esque backup gun at that time.
Yeah.
And now it's back to my carry gun mainly. So
Yeah. Then that was always my goal too, was I used one for carry, one for competing, and then, I took the other gun as a backup just in case sometimes. Not that for obviously not the first match, because I totally would have grabbed that gun afterwards.
you
But
gonna AWB your open gun? No balls.
no, I'm not. Well, I mean, I could. So if anyone remember, I don't know if you were in the sport at the time, but we had at one point well, no, it was someone got banned from IDPA for shooting AIWB at a match.
I heard that. I heard
Um
that. That's
uh,
wild.
so and then like he got let go, he got banned. So I took this video of like I moved my carry optics holster all the way to the front. Well, no, it was a spare one. I just clipped it on with the blade tech. So then I was like, dick holster. And it's like right out front. I'm like, oh, this is funny. And then eventually they added AIWB to all the divisions. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's funny. It is kind of fast, but you still got to turn the gun. My only problem with doing that is on the draw, you're very ample to break 180 though, because
Yeah.
like you're coming out like because there's you've probably seen the video of like a bunch of guys getting DQ'd at Minnesota, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And
Yep.
that's kind of one of those positions they put themselves in with how aggressive they kind of stood. I'm not defending the RO at that point, but I'm also saying there are ways to stand without putting yourself in risk and not losing a competitive equity kind of thing, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
For sure.
Like, because there's video, Tim puts video up afterwards. It's like, look, I stood here kind of just fine, angled, got the gun out, then I turned.
Yeah.
So, but I would feel if you did that, like from an outside the waistband holster, it almost would seem like you would be more ample to get 180 calls. It feels like.
Yeah. I can see your point. Yeah.
I mean, I would still shoot AIWB if like I had a whole squad of people wanting to do it, I'd totally do it. But
I might do it this winter if I can get my gun, but we'll see.
yeah,
I want to shoot open minor.
yeah, open minor. There you go.
The 2011. Ah!
Yeah, with a staccato P.
No, Nighthawk TRS comp.
Fair enough. That's not a bad gun. That's not a bad gun.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Gear's always fun. Everyone's got a GX Products holster. If you don't, I think you're kind of wrong.
I think I have two, and I'm about to order a third one, and it'll be a custom one because I don't
Well,
need it. I don't need it ASAP. So
right.
take all the time you want, life.
Right, exactly. Leif's a good dude. He is a good dude. He does a lot of good work. He's actually doing that low cap match next year too. So he's
Yeah,
doing a low cap match and Kentucky section.
I loved Kentucky section this year. I mean, whoop my butt, but
I mean, it was well, I guess it wasn't super early in the season. You had a couple majors under your belt by that time.
yeah,
So
I had
so,
two.
yeah, you had Michigan. What was before Michigan sectional then?
That was my first one.
Oh, so then what was between that and Kentucky?
Ryan Rocks.
No, Ryan Rocks
No,
was in
no.
August.
Sorry. Buckeye Blast
Oh,
in
okay.
Briar Rabbit.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. At least this year it'll be closer.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
it's gonna be in Cardinal.
I know. I'm so happy. Then that bay is pretty nice.
Yeah, and then you got nationals there too.
Yeah, I know. My buddy Riley, who shoots mainly PCC, he was like, "How come y'all get 2 hours and I get 10 hours at Alabama?"
Oh, I
I'm like,
know. Like I
"What?"
told one of my buddies who Cardinals is home club. I'm like, you guys picked the wrong nationals to have, by the way, because he's a PCC shooter. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, come on. I
No,
want
sucks.
I want a 3.5 hour car ride to nationals.
Sucks to be you, bub.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a buddy who wants to rent a house for Carry Optics Nationals.
Like Airbnb.
Yeah. And
That's
like
my
have
plan.
like 6 people, you just get everybody in on it, make it relatively cheap.
Yeah, yeah. That's our plan here with my buddies.
Mm-hmm. So you said you're gonna play a little bit in the winter with maybe some open minor. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So you say you want to, like, if I remember right, if anyone didn't pay attention, this is being recorded after Josh just came out on a live stream with Chris from the 740. And you said your goal is you want to be competitive and master. You want to be a master, but you want to be competitive and master.
Yeah.
What's your kind of goals right now? Well, or plan leading up to being a competitive master?
I think what I've found recently is just like I've said already is not trying too hard. What has really spoke to me a lot when it comes to my scores at matches is I don't want to say slow down and get your hits because that's the wrong verbiage. But I think I'm amply fast enough. Like I shot Kentucky sectional with Garen Singleton. He's a GM, super squad this year. And I mean, like time wise, I was there with him. Like I may have been like a half a second or a second um slower, but that's if the stage I didn't throw any makeup shots on steel or paper on stages. But so I'm like, yeah, like I can keep up speed wise, but it doesn't matter if your hits look like a constellation. So um so after I just shifted gears mentally and just like, hey, when you go shoot a match, shoot only alphas and close Charlies. Like it's not gonna be perfect. You're still gonna miss steel, accept that you will, but always have the mentality to shoot 1-for-1 on steel. And so far, yeah, that's just been my goal. Is stay focused, stay calm. 'Cause I get a lot in my head. That's always my biggest battle. And when I shot what do you call this raccoon over at somewhere in Michigan.
Wayne County Raccoon Hunters.
Yeah, Wayne County. And they had two M classes there, and one beat me, and then I beat another one. So it's like, okay, like I'm competitively enough, you know. But even at Nats, there was some M class that I was close to. Don't know if they're paper M's or really like legit M's, but I wasn't too far in percentage from at Nats. So just got to keep up the pace, hold the course, really. Don't overshoot my sights because I have a tendency of doing that. Because the sensation of going fast feels good, you know. But other than that, man, I mean, pick a specific spot, call your shots, move on.
Yeah. Oh, so you shot against Worm. Okay. Yeah. Besides Worm being a lefty, Worm's pretty good.
Oh, I mean, that guy is no brakes.
Yep. Yes. Worm
All
is
gas.
no brakes. Yeah. All gas. But and that burned a lot of people at Area 5.
Yeah.
All gas, no brakes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't met Mr. Matthew Decker, at least not personally, so I can't attest to him.
He's a cool guy. Very nice.
Yeah.
We both shot Ryan Rocks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Faces to names. But yeah. So yeah, and I guess it's kind of like a visual patience thing, right? And it's like, that center of the target, that finite spot. Are you doing any specific drills to find that middle, that finite spot better, or are you just kind of like focusing on your vision that way?
I mean, I don't know if I could really quantify it to a specific drill. Whatever drill I choose to do, that's always in the forefront of my mind is specific spots on targets.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could really quantify it to drills, but if I had to, it would be I set up a target at 10 yards, an open target or a tuxedo or no shoe, whatever I feel like that day. And then about 25 to 30 yards away, it's like accelerator without the middle target.
Mhm.
And I'll eliminate the physicality of swinging the gun. So I'll just draw a shoot on whichever paper target first, and then snap my eyeballs to a specific spot on the next target and just shoot two more. I don't
Mhm.
know if there's a name for that drill, but
Right, it's some form of accelerator or distance change up kind of thing.
yeah.
Gotcha.
If I feel spicy, then I'll do white transitions too. But if I'm just strictly focusing on spots on target, then that's what I'll do. Save
Yeah.
myself time and I'll even do the drill to where like if I especially on that closer target, if I can't mess it up anymore, then I'll just dry fire on it,
Mhm.
like mix dry and live.
Yeah, that's definitely been a big thing for a lot of people since COVID, right?
Yeah,
The dry fire at the range. I mean, people have been doing that for years, it seems like, but
yeah.
became popular again. But yeah, so that's
I mean,
kind of cool.
especially for me, when I started was peak COVID, so that was the last time I saw a $12 blazer box. Like the
Yeah,
first 500 rounds I bought. Then ever since then, it was like good luck.
I miss $12 blazer boxes.
And I like even before that, I scoffed at it. I was like, oh, that's too expensive.
Yeah, only would you know, or yeah, I know. Like buying at a gun store, you find it for like $13.99. I'm like, why would I pay that when I can go to Walmart? And
Yeah,
then guess what? Ammo at Walmart is gone.
I know.
The
I know.
nastiest ammo ever.
It's so wild. So
Winchester white box garbage value pack at Walmart, y'all. Like your
that was
hands
the
were. So I heard once from like it was the Practically Tactical podcast or something they did. It's like there was a Phoenix. They were talking about Phoenix ammo, and but they're also talking about Winchester. If Winchester just changed their box to black, it'd been perfect. All the marketing would have been great. Winchester black box because that's how dirty it makes it.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, I miss the days of having cheap ammo. I mean, but I was. I don't know if I was smart or dumb. I started reloading right when I got into the sport. So
I just started this summer.
yeah.
I bought Mason's press because he was selling it.
Oh, oh, Mason Lane's press,
Yeah.
not the auto drive one, right?
No, he's 750. He's old one.
Oh, well, shit. A 750 is better than a 650.
I
Oh,
suppose.
I
I don't know the
got.
difference.
Oh, one has the slidey primers, the other one has the spinny primers.
Ah, fun
Yeah,
times.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, reloading is fun. But shit, now you just reload you get more ammo for the same cost essentially in reloading.
I just like the fact that I mean I hate doing it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like, I hate standing on this press and cranking rounds. Um, I just feel like it's the most tedious thing, but it's a necessary evil. Like if you want to shoot, you got to do it.
Mhm.
And people always like when I got into it. I had a couple people saying me, "Oh, you should just buy factory and you know save your time." And I'm like, "What else do I have to do with my time? Like I work, I don't have school."
Mhm.
And I mean, really, as much as I hate reloading, it's a really good time for me to just wind down and not think about shooting because I just watch like dumb videos, put my
Mhm.
AirPods on and watch dumb videos while I'm doing it, you know? So it's like a relaxing time for me. I mean, my girlfriend hates it because every time I turn on the brass, the what do you call this?
Oh, the case feeder.
Yeah, case feeder. She's like, "That's so loud." I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. Like, it is
Yeah,
what it is."
yeah. I tried not to have phone conversations while I reload because it is so loud. But it's never inevitable, and I'm not going to stop reloading because you called me.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
It's like sorry, it's loud, not my problem.
Well, I also live in an apartment, so it's like, well, sorry if you're my neighbor.
Well, yeah. Well, it's
I
what you
don't,
can't reload at 2 a.m. like normal people before the match.
yeah, it's like, do I even want to use the case case? Nah, I'll figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
I've done
true.
that before.
Now, do you use all Dylan dyes, or are you using other dyes?
Yeah, I use all Dylan dice.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I find none of my tool head doesn't have any Dylan dyes anymore, other than the powder dye.
It's what Mason sent it with. So
I mean, so did when you got the press, did you fondle it first since Mason touched it, or
I was
or
like, I got a Mason Lane special, and y'all don't.
yeah, exactly.
uh,
Yeah. So that's
so,
pretty cool. What is your training schedule like anyway?
um, so I always do 4 days on and 3 days off.
Yeah.
That 3 days off could mean, I mean, it varies on the week, but I always dry fire 4 days a week.
Hmm.
Whether that be two 15-minute sessions or whatever the case may be. And live fire kind of just happens as ammo comes available. Um, so I could have next week 4 days on dry, 1 day live, and 2 days off. Just depends on the week, but I always have 4 days on, 3 days off for the most part. Just kind of give myself. I don't know if it's an official thing to have 3 days off. I know some people dry fire every day or 5 days a week, but for me, I find it beneficial in my personal life as well. Um, Having to just hang out with a girlfriend and watch movies and watch TV shows, or me playing video games that I normally never get to play because adulting is a piece of garbage.
Hmm.
Um, and it doesn't have to be like 4 days in a row. I just have to have 4 days on dry fire a week. And it's mostly on a I feel like it basis, which fortunately for me, I'm always down to just train. I'm a nerd at this and I enjoy it. I love it. So yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah. Now, my favorite thing was when you have dry fire shorts ready, so then you don't ever have to like worry about putting a belt through a belt.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you gotta have them dry fire shorts.
Yes, sir. I have one. The right pocket's all torn up,
Hmm.
probably from rubbing with the boss hanger. I don't know, but got it like Kohl's for $5 or something,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Dry fire shorts. Everyone needs a pair of dry fire. If that's the only thing anyone learned from Cody Axon was dry fire shorts. Now, since did you listen to the what the fuck was their podcast called, the Go Fast pod? Oh, Go Fast. The now I've got to look it up. This is gonna bother me. The Shoot Fast podcast. Did you ever listen to them?
Who was that with?
Cody and Joel, Cody Axon and
No,
Joel Park.
no. I've heard about it when I listened to a podcast with Joel and Cody Axon at PSTG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that they had that and they stopped, so I never listened to an episode, but I knew it existed at some point.
Yeah, yeah. You need to go back through all their episodes and listen to every single one.
Okay.
No, those are actually pretty good shows. Those
I
were
enjoy
pretty.
podcasts, man. It's a very good like long drives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh look, it's over. Another
Yeah,
one.
exactly. Well, unless you're like me and I listen to every podcast at 2 times speed.
What?
Yep.
That's wild.
I listen to a podcast typically that's like 4 hours long once a week. And I'm like, I don't have 4 hours. I have two. There we go.
I didn't know you could do that, but that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when people's slow, daunting talking, like you don't realize it when it's at 2 times speed because it sounds really natural and like fast paced.
Oh, word. Okay.
So yeah, if you got long podcasts, you want to get through them 2 times speed. I learned that from my buddy Robert Wyatt because time is money and money is valuable, I guess. No, it's just fitting it all into like a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for stopping through that awesome conversation, Mr. Josh Espinosa. But we need to talk about the awesome sponsors here on the podcast. Without them, it's a little less boring and bland. It's just blah. But anyway, guys, go over and check out the title sponsor, Go Fast Don't Suck. They've been with us for a very long time, and they've been supportive for the channel and the podcast. So go check them out. They're awesome. Don't forget Hunter's HD Gold, because Brian is the hardest working man in the shooting sports, and he can't stop because he don't know how to stop because he loves it. Don't forget to run over to DominateDefense.com, guys. Use Manny Talks 10 for 10% off a Mach 1 speed belt combo. Yes, the Mach 1 speed belt combo. You'll thank me later, save a little bit of money, and Jason definitely appreciates your business. Then don't forget to run over to DivTechShop.com. Go tell Nathan that Manny sent you and go get yourself 10% off your order. I think, yeah, 10% off your order with Manny Talks Shooting is the code. If I didn't already say that, because I keep forgetting all the damn time. But anyway, go get yourself a 3D printed magnet because they're fabulous. Run over to targetsusa.com and go give Jason Woods of Targets USA a awesome thank you, and go buy some steel for him because, as Steve Anderson says, it is the finest steel targetry on the planet.
And Jason is awesome and fabulous, even though he lives in freaking cold Alaska. Can't forget Mr. Tim Heron Shooting, the guy who kind of put me on the map and figured some things out early on. So don't forget to go over to Tim Heron Shooting, go look at his shooting schedule and find him near you very soon in 2023. Don't forget to run over to laughandload.com or check out the Pew Time podcast with my friends Tony and Jackie. Don't forget they have awesome content and swag that you may like their Supreme Division shirts, like limited because only shoot open. Why did I say limited? Because limited is poop. It's only open, only shoot open, because that's where everyone wants to be, racing the F1 guns of USPSA. Don't forget, run over to Chile Custom Gunworks. What is it? CCG3. I don't know what their website is. Just go Google ChileCustomGunworks.com, guys. Go get some metal grips for your Staccato or your Prodigy, because they need it and they deserve it, because everyone wants a metal grip, and metal grip more better. So hey, go check them out, Chile Custom Gunworks, guys. Don't forget also Range Panda, Eric Steiner, and Gianni Giordano, fabulous shooters, and they've been supporting the podcast. So Gianni's been on the show. We're working on Eric and on. So hey, guys, check them out. RangePanda.com. You can get a 3D printed, not 3D printed, CNC'd pistol stand for your pistol, or 3D printed parts for your press for accessories and galore. And then he's been making these new cups like Only Shoot Open or straight out of primers. So there's always some good ones to get with all their new services. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody, but hey, if I did, I'm sorry, because it's been a long list and long day. So hey, who gives a crap? But anyways, guys, let's go back to this awesome conversation with Mr. Josh Espinosa.
For sure.
So I do want to talk about, we just got done with Nationals. I want to talk about Nationals. So we're going to go back to September.
Okay.
Into our brain. Who did you even shoot with other than Jake?
So Jake, of course, Sam, he's an M in Lima, Ohio. He is a part owner of Midwest Shooting Center. There's a couple of guys from Atlanta. Alex Davodici, I think was his name. Striker Precision is his Instagram. He's mainly an open guy. Shot open there, shot carry optics, and a couple of dudes that I don't follow on social media. But yeah.
So how was it when you walked up? What was your feeling like when you walked up to your first stage at your first Nationals?
It's surprisingly very calm. I normally freak out just because excitement, a care to do well. But I normally was very calm. Like, I know Saturday, after we shot our last stage of Saturday, like Jake pat me on the shoulder, was like, "Bro, who are you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "You're not the same shooter you were like at Area 5 or at Michigan Sectional." I'm like, "Oh, didn't notice. Thanks, man." I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing at that time, but yeah, that's how it felt. At that time, and this might sound really weird in a podcast, I don't know if someone's ever said this, but after I shot my first stage, like just having the opportunity to be there, super happy to just have the opportunity to just even own guns and play in a sport that's only available in this country. I felt like crying. Like after I shot my first stage, unload, show clear, turn around, put my mags down on the table, and like look up in the sky, and I'm like, this is a fucking awesome life.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and we are very, I think we're ungrateful to be honest, because like we take this gift for granted, right? Because a lot of places that you don't have these freedoms, like even where most countries around the world, you got to have a permit to go play IPSC.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, forget playing the sport, owning the gun, period.
Yeah.
Like so many holes that you got to go through. And I don't know if like you've listened to JJ's podcast before. And I've talked to JJ's dad at Nationals all 3 days. And even him as a doctor in the Philippines is where I grew up. Even he said it was hard for me still. I'm like, yeah, it's wild. So yeah, man. I mean, like I said earlier, we initially came to this country when I was 13. I'm 24 now, so it had been 11 years, man, if I'm doing my math right, whatever. Yeah. And became citizens a year after I got out of high school at 2016, and just the gift of the Second Amendment, which is not available anywhere else at all. A lot of people take it for granted, for sure, my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we got to fight every day, every tooth and nail.
Yeah, I mean, we can't get complacent. I shot Wayne Raccoon with, I forgot his name, but he's a GM in IPSC in Canada, and he told me like, people that say, "Oh, we do have it nice," is the people that are gonna get our Second Amendment get all taken away because they're complacent.
and they're not willing to do anything, or
Yeah.
and it's super easy to call, leave a voicemail, email. I mean, you do something right. It's
Very.
you don't need to be angry political on the doorstep of somebody's house. Be like, hey,
Yeah, for
do it.
sure.
Yeah, but there are the steps to do it, right? So go out, guys, if you're listening, go out and do that. Talk to your congressman. Go to the
Yeah.
internet, find who's in charge of you, or who represents you, and
Yeah,
go tell them what you want, in a nice, respectable way, even if they're not
for
on our
sure.
side.
For sure.
But
Yeah, man, we have a gift that no other country does, so
mhm.
pretty
So
awesome.
with that, what zone? So you had that feeling of bliss, kind of thankfulness in this country. What zone did you start in?
Meaning, sorry.
Like a
Oh,
zone, like of the match.
I think
What
it was
stage?
C. I think it was
Okay,
C.
okay.
I'll
So
do the top.
you shot the top first. Okay,
Yeah.
and in what Super Squad shot you a day behind you? So they
No,
start
Super Squad shot the afternoon, same
right,
day we shot.
but they didn't. They didn't shoot the same stage as you shot, right? They shot a different set of stages.
Well, they started in C, but I think they started a different stage. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting if they started in C. But yeah, so then you see your stage wins and your points go down in competitive.
Yeah.
It's like,
Me and Jake were at dinner, like, because Jake had a really good showing
mhm.
all the match, and it was like 90% on this, and then he goes, "Oh wait, no, Super Squad doesn't show."
Yeah.
So so he was sad, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely sad because if you're sad about your scores going down, like I'm already behind you, I'm gonna be really sad then. So that was
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah. No, that is really fun, and all, and it's really cool to be able to use the competitor app to your advantage and watch and see.
Yeah.
Did you look at scores at all while you were shooting?
Oh yeah, I track them.
Yeah.
I
Do
don't
you
think
go ahead?
it doesn't amp me up to do anything I wouldn't normally do if I wasn't watching it.
Hmm.
Like nothing about my performance is gonna change.
But you just got to keep track of yourself and see what you kind of lost or whatnot comparatively, and
Yeah. It's like I just analyze it. You
hmm
know, like I understand I'm not gonna be a super squad level shooter now.
hmm
Not yet. I will be one day.
hmm
So
Now, you know what I did notice about this match that I kind of forgot is that all the stage names start with start and play around with Sig,
yeah.
and I don't like it.
Oh look, guys! One of the squad members that we had was, "Oh, don't tell me it's another Sig name." I'm like, "Well, title sponsor of the match is Sig, so better expect."
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's kind of fun though. So,
Yeah.
what was if you could pick one stage that was like your favorite, not necessarily in performance wise, but your favorite stage, like in design
hmm
or something like that? Which one would that be?
Um, I would definitely have to pick Bay. So it's Zone B.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last stage, the Super Squad shot, so the very corner stage, the far right. Forgot what it was called. Um, but essentially, you start. It's an L-shaped stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start in the mark, which is in the middle. The smart people ran to the left, shot all the targets available, ran to the right, took everything on the move on the right, swing to the left port. There's a far open target and a closed tuxedo, and then you shoot a popper that's 25% available with the hardcover no shoot in the front, or sorry, hardcover steel in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and it activates a bobber, and there's a open target to your right. Um, just I don't know. There's just so many options to that stage. Um, and there was my favorite thing about it is there was no stage plan that's advantageous over the other because it just came down to execution. Um, JJ
Mm-hmm.
shot it differently. I watched him shoot it. Max shot it differently. The Super Squad shot it all very differently, but it just came down to execution. Really, that's why I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Now, did you when you were done shooting? Did you watch the Super Squad all day?
No, Jake and I went back to the hotel and like unloaded all our stuff, and we watched them shoot the last three stages.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then to see the depth of field in this in that match, there's so many people there that were up for the title, and like if you look at like you don't get out of the 90 percentile until you're like 18th.
Yeah. I
So
mean, really, just watching the Super Squad, any of those guys could interchangeably take that title.
mm-hmm.
Any of them. So that was pretty awesome to just watch, people at their level. Which
Mm-hmm.
was even more interesting because and I don't mean to sound braggy, like, but when you watch them shoot, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, like I can do that too. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like they draw, they run here, they put the gun up and they shoot the gun. Like there's nothing really magical, so it just came down to really like, oh, they're just super efficient at every single little piece, the transition,
Mm-hmm.
not doing makeups on paper, throwing one on steel, like you're
Mm-hmm.
not running any faster than you are, or
Right.
So that was very interesting to see, and it really like opens your mind to like, oh, you just really just got to get good at fundamentals.
Right. Yeah, and that's truly what it is. The sport is all about fundamentals and doing what you got to do and being efficient. Right.
Yeah,
The inefficiency is where it kills everybody. It's the inefficiency in the draw, the reload,
yeah,
the
makeup on
movement.
paper,
Yeah, makeups on paper. Well, makeups in general suck. Like
yeah.
if you think about it, a makeup on steel is what I think Steve Anderson's like to like half a second to 3/4 of a second if it's an
Um,
uncalled makeup.
Mason told me it's pretty much a delta
Yeah.
automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like throwing Charlie's at 15 yards open target and in, like that hurts you a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It definitely hurts and it sucks.
Yeah.
So don't do that, guys. Don't suck. But oh yeah, so you said you were hanging out with JJ's dad. Do you enjoy JJ's dad more than JJ?
Dude, he is a funny guy. So there's this, I don't know if this has been publicly stated yet. I think it was on the live that I did with Jake, but day one, I shot that stage with the sequence paper activator.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah. It's like you shoot one per steel and then it activates some sort of paper. And then JJ was like, I turn around and let's show clear, and JJ like passed me on the shoulder and was like, you shoot like that every all weekend, like you'll be fine. And he goes, way to represent. I'm like, way to assume. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. But so we're talking in English and after we got done shooting, went back to the hotel, unloaded our stuff, drove back, and watched Super Squad shoot. I was super quiet, and I knew this guy was JJ's dad. I mean, they are a carbon copy of each other. Like, yeah, they are the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him speak the language I speak in the Philippines, and I just came up to him and started talking. And JJ's got done shooting. I'm no so clear. He turns back and he heard me talk, and then he like kept walking, and then he goes, "Wait, you speak the language? Like, why the hell were we speaking English this morning?" And the whole Beretta team, like it just started laughing. But yeah, JJ's dad was super nice. Gave me tips on not necessarily what to do per stage, but I think the biggest wake up moment, not necessarily wake up, but like even he at JJ at his level and who he is, his dad always keeps reminding him like never forget where you came from, and that like spoke volume to me, at that time. Like whatever happens, like never forget where you came from. Um, so
Yeah, and absolutely. Like, because we always started from the bottom of the barrel, unless
yeah,
no one came out of the womb wielding a gun.
yeah, for sure.
Not even
Um,
JJ, even though we all think he did.
yeah, that guy's a monster, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just so nice. Like he just super down to earth. And I know like just being on Instagram, people that have taken his classes that I follow is like, oh, JJ's like the nicest person. But for me, talk is always cheap. And then having to meet JJ, I'm like, this dude is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's so funny.
Yeah. Now, did JJ's dad have a donut with chocolate on it and peanuts?
Not that time.
Not at that
Might might
time.
might have been at the beginning, and I missed it.
Yeah. I heard that. I heard that
It's a tradition.
JJ and his dad love those donuts. So it's like,
Oh, that's
I mean,
funny.
do you want one?
I mean, yeah, I want one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I want one. But anyway, um, that's kind of cool, getting to talk to JJ's dad, um, and chit chat a little bit. That's kind of cool. Did Jake find it weird that you're just chit chatting with them all the?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of felt to the point where like him and I were speaking in a different language, and I definitely felt like an animosity of like, obviously people around you don't understand what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I swear we're not talking crap.
Yeah. Well, that's what the next jersey's got to say, right? I swear I'm not talking crap.
Maybe.
Right? You never know. You never
Yeah.
know. But yeah, so you shot nationals. What did you think of the fixed time? Well, you shot Area 5, you shot Michigan sectional. There were fixed time short courses there. What do you think? What did you think of the nationals one?
Well, I shot it like crap. I got all my shots off. I got good points, but I forgot to put my foot inbound, so that's a
Yeah.
penalty.
Well,
But
now did they give you one procedural or they give
yeah,
you?
one
Okay.
procedural.
Okay, I was about to say if they give you per shot, like that's a little crap.
Yeah. Um, what I think about it in terms of a stage design,
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting because it was very high risk, high reward. Um, if you're confident enough to split the gun, not necessarily split the gun, but shoot the gun at a pace where, like, basically confirmation two,
Mm-hmm.
like it'll reward you properly, like given you have a proper grip. Because if you're shooting confirmation three on everything, like you're not gonna make the time, in my opinion. But
No, it was at 4.5 seconds.
yeah,
So you got to draw the gun in like what
a
1 second?
second
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. If not faster.
Yeah,
And because it was what 2 shots on the left, or is it or I mean, was it 2 targets on the left?
I think it was three.
3. Okay.
There were 7 targets total, and I think the target in the middle could be taken on either side.
There should have only been 6, but okay. Because 12 rounds, maybe.
Oh, was it 12 rounds? I don't
Yeah,
know.
because the short course can only be 12 rounds.
Yeah, they might have been 6 then.
Okay.
I just know I screwed it up. So
Yeah.
there's that.
So yeah, let me go back to the feed of phone.
I have it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6. So like the middle target
Was
could only
available from
be,
either.
yeah, from either side. So
Oh, okay. So okay, that makes a difference. Now, would you have rather have shot something again like Area 5? Where you had the option and really had to think about what you were gonna do? Either you
yeah,
take it
I liked Area 5, and man, like, because it was 4, and then I think like I don't know how many targets on the last port.
there would have been 8 because there was one shot piece a piece.
Dude, like I was booking and like all alphas in the first 4 targets. Like I called every shot. I'm like, oh, this is going great. Got to the port, bang, 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 light primer. Ah, dang! And then by the time I presented again, it was done. I'm like, oh no.
So at that point you could have just gone with that, you could have just gone to the end and was like, well, I'll go get my alphas down here.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I enjoy fixed time short courses. I mean, they're intriguing to me, long as the par time's set right.
I dislike them for the reason that I think if you treat it as it is, it's fun. But for the most part, some people get amped up because, oh, I'm limited to a time, so I'm going to shoot faster, which then turns out, which also equates to not being visually disciplined enough, tensing up, which it always happens. And so I dislike it for that reason, but that's more of a shooter problem than it is a stage problem. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely prefer those comparatively to like the stand and shoots.
yeah,
The stand and shoot fixed times, because at that point it's like either way, it's get your alphas right,
yeah,
or try
yeah,
to engage as many points as possible at that point.
yeah.
Like now, I wonder to what level the 4.5 seconds was too quick. If it was like a mid B, or if it was like a C level shooter who couldn't finish the part time.
I have no clue, to be honest. I think all of us finished it. Yeah, I think all of us got off our rounds in our squad, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Even we had a senior gentleman, was a pretty good shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Slow on the draw, accurate as hell. And even then, like, and he wasn't shooting extremely fast, maybe like 25, 30 splits. He still made it, I think. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Don't know if he got his hits, but
Right. So I mean, there's always that opportunity, right? So
yeah.
we kind of forgot to talk, but about your day job, kind of.
Yeah.
You work at a gun store.
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah. Oh, so once a week. That's a big old guy. So you do a little bit instructing from
Yes.
what we've talked about.
Yep.
Now, what is your primary like classes or or curriculum you kind of teach?
Right now I'm mainly doing privates, just straight up one-on-one with people, and how I market and how I've talked to the owner of the shop that I market the classes. Like, I don't want you to make it like competition or defensive. It's simply if you care enough to shoot the gun better, like take the class. So I always start it with talking about, I think Rob Latham said it best, aiming is useless if you can't keep the gun still when you press the trigger. So I always start the class with, historically, we've always been taught, slow press, let the shot surprise you, as it were. And I just think that's wrong, because when the buzzer goes off, you're like, just mashing that trigger as much as you can, as fast as you can. So I start the class off with trigger control speed and dry fire. I let them like realize how much you actually need to grip the gun, or how much less you actually need to grip the gun to keep your sights still. And if they have iron sights, I always ask the owner, give me a red dot gun, please. Like, let's not waste our time. So I always start the class that way. And with that, it kind of just rolls over to like grip, because it really does teach you how to grip the gun. And yeah, and sight pictures, like level of confirmation. That's how I always start my first. If it's my first time with them, for an hour and 15 minutes, that's all we work on. Those three things. So
yeah. Now, when you get somebody, are they typically? I'm assuming they're not super brand new to shooting or to firearms.
yeah, they've shot before. They have experience with a gun, and it's always the dudes that are like, yeah, I'm decent at shooting. Then I put him at 5 yards. I'm like, only shoot the head box on you, Mike. Yeah, thought you were decent at shooting.
Right. Well, and then so many people, like when you say it's on you, like say it's like a 5-round slow fire group, right? And like even like you've taken a class, you try to do that perfect group, and everyone's like, bam, 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 bam. Like this is slow fire, like this is like make one ragged bullet hole kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and I always demo everything. I feel like if you're an instructor and you only talk but never do, I think, I will not take a class from you again, my opinion. So I always like demo to my student that this is how I'm pressing the trigger, dry or live, buzzer or not, because this is how I press the trigger, irrespectively of, so yeah, I do that live in front of them, and it's never always perfect, man. Like, I mean, I'll squeeze a lower left shot here and there, like, and I explain to them, like, yeah, that's what happens when you're doing too much of this and when you're doing too less of this. And it kind of, for the most part, most people are, I guess, they learn better if they see someone do it, whether it's successful or not. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you typically do this, are you inside of one lane, or are you like in front of the shooting stalls, or?
Yeah, we're in front of the bay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely where it's at, right? Be able to
go
holster.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Now, typically, does your range allow normal people to come and use, draw from the holster?
Oh,
no.
Unfortunately, you had to pay for the class.
Gotcha. That's good. I mean, there's a lot of ranges up here that you can't draw from a holster, just but it's insurance purposes or damage weight, because people are gonna torch one off into the freaking table.
Yep. I mean, yeah.
Or they're gonna blast like so. How many people have shot the ceiling at this range?
Dude, there's a lot of holes in there.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't realize that people put bullet holes everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
Doesn't matter if it's downrange, uprange, sideways, they're gonna put holes in it.
Yeah. Because on the range or the shop that I work on, we also do like an outlaw USPSA type match. It's not really official. I just use a practice score app, and just have people come in. We set up the bays. There's 3 shooting bays, so we set up 3 like little stages. Kind of give people a little touch of what speed and accuracy actually looks like, instead of just bullseye shooting, and that has driven sign up for classes. I mean, I'll shoot it too. And they give up prices, if you win and everything. Like, I'll shoot the stages as well, just to, not necessarily to boast about it, but just to show people like what is possible. I'm still growing, obviously, and even when I hit GM super squad level, whenever that time comes, like, I'm still gonna keep growing.
Right.
But I think that drives people wanting to sign up, because they're like, oh, I thought I was decent. I can't even hit an open paper like 5 yards away from me, and I thought I was decent.
Yeah. Well, and the cool part about that we've all enjoyed about competitive shooting, it's very humbling, right?
It is.
And especially when you're around your peers, right? Everybody wants to do well.
Yeah.
But This is me personally, I will not squad with somebody who's super negative and is a pain in the ass. Like if
I'm with you.
if you're a pain in the ass, like I ain't. You get one.
Yeah,
Other than that, I'll give you the middle finger and tell you to fuck off. Because like, or if you're just super negative Nancy about it, like I don't want to be around you. No offense to like, you've met John Chinchen, right?
no, actually never shot with him.
Okay, well, but you know of him, right?
Yeah, I know of him. Yeah,
John's a good dude. He's a good shooter. When he gets in a funk, he's in a funk, and I
yeah,
don't need that funk around me. Nothing
yeah,
against John, but like I said, when shooters like that who get into like this angry state, it's like it just kills my mood. Why would I want to?
for sure.
I don't want to have that crappy mood
Yeah,
around
for
me.
sure.
But so I won't. I'll squad with people I more enjoy, even though they might not be as competitive. You
Yeah,
know, like they might be a lower class or whatnot, or they're just not there to compete with me that day. I'll shoot with them to have more fun.
yeah, for sure. I'm with you there. Yeah. What I've just done for me is, uh, at least when I get to the range, like I'm there for me, man. Like I don't care if you're in my squad. I don't care if you're not in my squad. Like I'm there for me. But I totally get what you're saying because I'm also an empath in that sense. Where if someone's being super negative and I'm always fighting for a double that never really existed, like I'm ROing this guy and it's like he hits the brown and then he shoots again and I'm like nothing happened in the paper, just straight dirt. Like yeah, I know that's a mic, and then that person comes up and argues for a double and I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Mike,
Yeah,
you got a problem? Call the RM.
exactly. Yeah, at that point, it's not worth it.
And it's one thing, right? If you like, it's a 2 to 3 yards open target, right? It's one thing. But if it's like in a weird angle and everything, and
Or a 20-yard swinging, swinger
yeah, like
on the move.
you're not gonna get a double, my dude. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And from time to time, you should shoot with one of my favorite people from Indiana, Mr. John Martolo.
I love John. He's funny. I
John is
love John.
hilarious. John's
He's
hilarious.
he's so funny, dude. He's such a cool guy. Super quiet, but when he gets talking, like he just laughs at everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good dude. He
Yeah.
loves green as much as I do, which is a bonus.
I noticed that.
Yeah, gotta love green. You've seen his holster, right?
Yeah, I just noticed that in Nats.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was a Wildcat. I was like, hold on, that can't be right. That doesn't look like a Glock molded holster. Like, so I was ROing him, and I was like, make ready, and he pulls his gun out. I'm like, you dirty bastard.
Mhm. Well, I mean, if Ghost can make it, right? Why not? Why
Yeah.
not somebody else with a better holster? Oops, did I say that? It was a better holster. No, I don't like if you've known anyone with a Ghost locking race holster, it seems like the lock is super like fumbly. Like they all fiddle fart with the lock. Like for me, like is it like a CRO? I'm not calling range clear until your hands off that like mechanism. So like with
Yeah.
all race holsters, like until it's locked and your hands away, the range is not clear for people to go down range.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
because I'd rather make sure that the gun's locked in the holster before we go through a gun falling out of a holster. I don't want
That's
to
why
have
I
to do
like.
it.
That's why I like Leif, man. I mean, I'm not officiated by him or affiliated by him by any means. Like,
Mhm.
but his holster is so simple. Like in the design, it's super rugged, super durable, just like over the top quality. And it's a flip on the latch and you're good. And that gun will never come out. Like you can do a triple backflip standing up and that gun will stay in that holster.
Yep, you can pull through it,
You
but
can,
which
but
for the
that
one
takes
time
force. Yeah.
for the one time for some reason but I still don't know why somebody wouldn't dry fire the gun, right? So even on like those unloaded starts, right, that you've got to
Yeah.
do, it's like you'd still like draw the
Yeah.
gun and whatnot, and so you'd know that the holster was locked at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, super intuitive to flip the latch. I do like to like finger flick the latch from time, like as I'm
I
like
do too, just making that noise.
the little clicky fidgety noise with the
Yeah.
magnet. I do that.
I like his holster a lot.
Mhm.
A lot of my uh local here and my local club all ran Red Hill. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think they're solid holsters. But it became to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be that different guy. GX product. So I bought one for my birthday, waited like 12 weeks for it. Totally worth it. I already had a holster anyways. It wasn't my first one, so
Mhm.
I wasn't struggling in that sense. But as soon as I got it, man, I'm like, this thing's life changing. I got it the day before a local. like that afternoon. I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm putting this on.
Right.
I'm using it tomorrow.
Yeah. And I will say there's nothing truly wrong with a Red Hill. I had issues with mine and I gave it to Jake because I was like, here, just have this. I don't care. You can have it. It was
Yeah.
molded a little funky, and I'm like, here, you can have it, bud.
Yeah, for sure. I never really use a Red Hill, but as far as I've seen my friends use them, I'm like, I've never really seen them having an issue. But one of
Yeah.
those things where like y'all running Red Hill, I want to be different. So GX was the choice.
Yeah. No, Leif makes a great product, and he honestly, I think if you're gonna buy one holster, cry once, buy once, you're gonna stick with that platform. You buy the GX products holster you need. You don't go fiddle farting with guns,
I have two because why not?
But
Same
you gotta
color,
have
same design.
you gotta have a backup holster.
For sure.
Or your buddy wants to go shoot a match with you and he doesn't have a gun. So here's my back. Here's all the shit.
Sorry, dude. I'm not that guy. I'm sorry. I had a guy who was like, oh, I got 320, but I don't get a gear. I'm like, oh, sucks to be you. You're not using my backup. Like, it's a backup for a reason. I'm gonna keep it as nice as possible because I don't want you to fucking fuck with it.
Yeah. I do have I used to carry like always a separate like belt because you never know. But it's just like I don't feel like it's like taking all that extra crap just doesn't help.
I have a premium belt, like a
Mhm.
DAA premium with the exact same setup as my links.
Mhm.
I brought it to Nats, but locals I don't. I'd leave it at home.
Yeah. I don't. I know people who do like the Lynx belt. I'm not a big fan of the Lynx belt.
I bought it because my buddy same size as me, and he's like, I don't want this. I don't like it. $50. I'm like, say less.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, especially you don't got to wait. It's cheaper. Okay, that's no problem. I don't like how the fact that it can flex on you depending on if you put your holster
Yeah.
hanger or anything on the hinge or on the flat.
Yeah.
It would just seem like I that's why I like the regular ish belts, even though I don't have like a double alpha belt. I have a regular ish belt.
Yeah.
From
I like the double alpha.
Mhm.
I don't know, the length has been great for me, so that's why I just haven't like changed or anything.
Yeah. Have you seen now that you can buy a link that's directly drilled for a boss hanger?
My buddy just sent me that yesterday on Instagram, and I'm like, or I can just leave my boss, buy the Velcro tape, and just tape it on the back of my boss.
Yeah. Or you can be like John Martello and do it before anybody.
Yeah, it's true.
Dude, like I don't know what John hasn't done to his crap. I remember when he made an omnivore look cool. You remember that? Like when he tweaked the omnivore to like, oh, it works now.
He's wild. He's a funny guy. I thought he was from Illinois. I didn't think he was from Indiana.
He's on the border, but he shoots I think more Indiana. He'll go shoot Wildcat on Saturday and then go shoot North Porter on Sunday.
Yeah, what does that guy do for work?
I think I don't know. I think he's IT.
Oh, gotcha.
So he sits at a computer all day and just looking at a gun like, oh, I could do that to that. I could do that.
I mean, I sit on a computer all day too, but normally calling people.
Yeah. Oh, so you're one of those guys who calls you all day and bothers you because your car extended warranty is now expired.
I saw insurance, but
no, same difference, right?
Yeah, same difference.
Right. So I guess we can get a little bit back on track. But so we've got 2023 is around the corner, and the season is ending. What matches are you looking for next year?
Michigan sectional, Area 5. I plan to do more area matches. Kentucky for sure, and nationals for sure. I want to go do Dragons Cup, but that's tight. Like money wise, that's a lot.
No, you just the next weekend you just come to Michigan sectional instead of Dragons Cup, so it'll be fine.
All right, sounds good.
It's a lot closer.
It is. You guys do put up good matches though. I've always enjoyed all the match Brooklyn has put up.
We try. We really do. This match we only had 3 people help set up, so
that's wild.
It was kind of rough.
Area 5 was very daunting. I walked in there and I was like, oh, this is particularly easy. First stage through like a mic. I'm like, holy crap, never mind. Like,
but it was a pure shooting challenge if you think about it.
It really was.
So everyone's failures and it wasn't to the match. I mean, other than one stage, everything was a shooting challenge. The only thing I could say it was how stage 8 was laid out. Was not.
Which one is that?
That was the one with the magic palette.
Okay.
Now, if
Yeah, well,
you win some, you lose some on that one. People have a great idea on a stage design. When it hits the ground, everything tweaks a little bit and it just doesn't lay out right. And then you got to do hokey crap like that.
mm-hmm.
Even though it was still shooting, like, so inherently getting extra penalties or whatnot. Not necessarily the idea, but also like, because I'll admit that was my stage. I designed that stage. Now,
Gotcha.
did I want hard leans on the sides? Yes, because either way, both left-handed, right-handed, PCC or pistol had a wicked lean on either side of that stage, so it was fair that way.
Yeah.
Now, if the middle port was done, if the wall was, if we had the different wall and a little bit different, it would have been a little bit better.
Right.
But
Right.
depending on props and getting really to look at the stage before we started shooting it on staff day, we could have fixed something.
Mhm.
But no one really got a good look at it. I guess it seemed like to figure all that out, so we didn't have to have pallets, and so
I'll definitely try to shoot my like my local areas
Mhm.
major matches just because like it's the closest and
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, no, that is awesome because it saves you a little bit of money. I mean, you still got to take time off work if need
Mhm.
be. You guys still got to travel. You got to have a hotel that costs ungodly amount now. It seems like because inflation, everything going up, and what's crazy is like the cost of a hotel. All you do is sleep there.
I know for one night.
Yeah, one night, 2 nights, all you do is sleep there. You go buy food somewhere else, so it's not like they got to clean up. And
Yeah.
if you're smart like me, you just leave the do not disturb sign on the door all weekend.
Yeah.
It's like because there's guns in here, like
Yeah. Ammo and
there's stuff like laptops, iPads, recording
yeah.
equipment. There's always stuff you got to be worried about. Darn phone, open up because I said so. But yeah, and I not that I don't trust hotel people. I just don't trust hotel people. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Not unless I knew, like, even as like if I was a staff member, I wouldn't want to share a room with somebody unless I really knew them because you just feel on edge. And I like to have a good night's sleep.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jake and I luckily are particularly close in terms of our relationship, and yeah, I mean, we had a good time at Nats, and like you said, just left a do not disturb sign outside, and
Mm-hmm.
why mess with it, man? Like we got thousands of dollars of everything in here,
Mm-hmm. Except
all the way to our.
your cat is a butt.
Yeah, well, Jake can get over it, so
Cat. Well, that's what happens when he's a third shifter, right?
yeah,
It's like you sleep some weird schedule. It's not my problem.
yep. And they're cats, man.
I mean, I have a problem with cats, but that's because cats have a problem with me because I am allergic to cats. So,
Oh well, that's always gonna be an issue.
Oh, but cats love to sit on me and then get their hair all over me and then get me all sneezy and watery eyed, and it's horrible.
Cats love to sit on anything. Like
Mhm.
on my on my live on Wednesday, it was just like my little chunky cat was just all over me.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Cats are pretty cool though. I mean, they're cool pets because they do their own fucking thing and they'll
Yeah,
let
for
you.
real.
And then it's not like a dog who's like, "You can take me outside. I gotta use the bathroom. You can take me outside now."
Nope. Just make sure it's clean. You got food and water, and they will. Yeah,
No,
independent spirits.
yeah, exactly. So, Josh, who not talking about sponsors, but who are some people who've been like your biggest supporters or mentors in life and in through the sport?
I mean, most definitely my parents, man. I couldn't do what I'm doing now had, n- you know, had not been, and both of them been working so hard and sacrificed so much to just put me and my two brothers at the space and place that we are in. So yeah, I couldn't definitely do life without their sacrifice and hard work. Um, and what was the question again?
Who are your supporters in life and through the sport?
Um,
Not
definitely my
it.
local friends
Mhm,
here in
mhm.
in town. Um, and I think my biggest mentor so far has been Mason Lane. I took his class in about my after my fourth match. I took his class because my friend was hosting him, and I was like, "Who's Mason Lane?" No clue. And at that time, I was like, "I know I suck at shooting, and this guy's a champion. Like he knows what he's doing." I'm like, "Here's my $500." Took his class and learned a lot. The guy shat on me a lot. Like he was like, "Hey, stop being a hoser. Like you're a hoser. Like you're better than this." He
Yeah.
was such a good coach in shooting, and he could break down the problems. Um, and ever since then, just like DMing each other on Instagram and Facebook, like he's just been such a good source of information in terms of just the shooting side of things. Because he's shared to me before that he and I share the same problem in a personality where we're just naturally hosing, like hosers, and tend to overshoot our sights. And um, that's why my shift of mental gear this year has been because of Mason. Like he's like, hey, like just stop. Like what you have been doing is not working. So you know there's a problem. Um, so that he helps me a lot in that sense. Jake would be another person for sure. Um, just because the guy keeps me on edge, keeps me on my toes. Um, I met him at South Kent at the beginning of the season as a B class, and I whooped his butt then. But then ever since then, I just haven't been able to um come close to Jake or like beating him and everything. But he supports me a ton in the sense of going back and forth, sharing ideas, just shooting in general. So that's that for sure.
Yeah, I feel sorry you went to South Kent, but that's beside the point.
It was my uncle was like, "Hey, you want to go shoot a match?" And I'm like, "All right." I got in the car and it's like, "All right, cool." So we're coming here.
Yeah, did you shoot what you shot this year, 2022, up at South Kent, right?
Yeah, it was March. It was our first match of the month. Oh, the year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the new guy took over. So I don't know. I
It
don't
was
know
so
how.
weird, like how they did it,
Hmm.
because I didn't know that in practice score you had to do this online class for a waiver and everything. And we got there and they were like, "Oh, we have no clue." And they're like, "Well, are you guys new to shooting or you new to USPSA?" I'm like, "No, we drove 3 hours for a club match. No, we're definitely new." So then the one thing that really got me is like, "Oh, we just want to make sure that, you guys aren't not unsafe people and whatever." I'm like, that's kind of dumb because what if the people that are already shooting this club prior to this match are safe people and got DQ'd today because of 180 breaks or accidental discharges? Like, would you not let them come back the next match then because they're technically unsafe? Like, this is stupid.
Hmm.
So, but it was a good match all in all. Like, they put up good stages and everything.
Yeah. I mean that's a good thing to say because they used to the last guy who was running in 2021, they were not the best stages. So
I had one gripe on one stage where they had a Texas Star behind a Texas Star, and it
oh
was the
yeah.
long course, and it's like RM was like, "Yep, if the the steals on the front star knocks on the steals on the back star, so reshoot." But then don't do it. We had like 4 reshoots, my guy, on a 36 round stage. Like, what is happening?
I'll tell you because he's a three gunner. That's what three gunners do.
And I'm
Stupid
like,
setups on stuff. But yeah, here nor there. But
yeah.
I know we're near the end. Oh, that yes, my fancy new water bottle. If anyone cares, it's a Range Panda water bottle. There we go. Only shoot open because that's a true statement. And it's got an open gun on the side. So yeah, you can go get these at rangepanda.com. Shill not shill. I mean,
I
I
want that
paid.
water bottle that Fanfo shared, but he was like, "It's a Sig."
Oh yeah, that one was pretty
I'm like, "I
cool.
want that one."
Yeah, those are pretty baller. And it's cool because it's got this grippy thing to like hold it onto the table.
Oh, fancy.
So now we're to the nitty gritty of that must have jumped. But anyway, who are your sponsors? Because we got to make sure we pay their bills.
So my main sponsor is Summit City Bullets and Freedom Firearms, the shop that I work for. Um, Pretty awesome guys, local businesses here in Fort Wayne, so I'd like to support them as much as they support me as well. So yeah,
Hmm. That's pretty awesome. Yep, Summit City Bullets. They make some pretty cool bullets. They just make red bullets, right?
yeah, yeah,
Red bullets. Everyone needs red bullets because not everyone can have blue bullets or green bullets. I gotta have red bullets.
yeah. Super nice. Fair pricing, fast shipping. Is a one man business. Does it all in his garage, and yeah,
Yep. Hopefully he gets his lead levels checked.
yeah. I mean, I need to talk to that guy. Like,
Exactly. But yeah. So and then where can they find you on the internet, Josh?
yeah, so I'm on Instagram mainly for my shooting page. It's called Joshi underscore. I think it has 3 E's on Joshi underscore pew pew 14. Don't know why that just happened.
Because your
And my
account got hacked. Your first
it,
one.
okay, listen, it did.
You fell for it. You got hacked.
It was from a guy that I followed. It's like the bearded shooter, not the open
Chase.
bearded, not Chase Rain. It was some other bearded shooter that shot a Beretta, the Langdons.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's a cool guy. Psh, click the link, ba bam, get wrecked. Instagram account, 1,000 followers, is down the drain.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's mainly where you can find me on Instagram. Facebook's kind of like my shit talking space.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. But yeah, Josh, thank you for coming on, brother. It's been fun, and I think they've enjoyed it. I mean, I'll find out whenever they listen to it. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate this. This was I appreciate you asking me and being here, and yeah, it means a lot.
yeah, no problem, brother. And we'll see each other a lot this year, I think, with matches around here. So it'll be good. We got listeners. Thank you for listening. Until next time, get out and do things, and I will see you on the next one.